Why, hello everyone! Welcome to a new video. This is the third video that I'm filming today, so if you've noticed that I've been wearing the same outfit for like most of my videos recently, that would be why, because I'm too lazy to change my outfit. It's also my day off, so I just like to wear, a comfy sweater, have my hair pulled back, all that good stuff. So I did not dress up for this video, but hopefully that's okay. So today I'm going to be answering your convention related questions. I had a little series that I did wherein I answered various cosplay related questions from beginners, because when you're a beginner, there are some things that you can't really learn through the internet. Basically, I wanted to address topics and answer questions that are kind of lesser known to new cosplayers. So that was that series. So I thought I would bring that back, but this time talk about things related to conventions and answer your convention related questions, because conventions are huge. There's a lot to do and it can be very overwhelming when you're just starting out. When I first started out, I didn't really know what you did at conventions. I wasn't sure like what kind of events and what kind of like stuff there was to do at a convention. That was my main thing. And I quickly learned a lot about conventions by going to them, but it definitely, I think, is helpful to have a bit of insight into going to conventions and all that before starting. Before I begin, though, I do want to remind you guys that I do have a What's in My Con Bag video, which talks about what to pack for conventions, and a guide to conventions. So I will have those linked in the description as well as up there. So those will answer some of the very basic questions related to going to conventions. But as for kind of the lesser known topics, that's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's get into it. Okay, so first we're going to go with Instagram questions. I did ask over on Patreon for some questions, but I haven't gotten any responses to my posts. Usually Patreon questions are priority, but we don't have any Patreon questions, so we're just going to go for Instagram questions. First one is from Skelleboy, who says, how do you carry your stuff around when you can't wear a backpack? Which is a great question. I can't speak very well. So when I'm cosplaying Tracer, I obviously can't wear a backpack because she has a lot of stuff on her. So there are two ways to go about this. So you can either have like a handbag, so just like a handheld bag that you just carry around. I did this for my Aragon cosplay and it was not the best, right? Because you're just like carrying around a big bag just in your hand, and that can get very heavy and very cumbersome. So what I recommend, the best way, is to get a rolling backpack. So this is a backpack that has wheels, and it's basically like a suitcase, but it's a backpack. So it rolls like a suitcase, has a handle like a suitcase, but it is actually just a backpack. So it can be converted into a backpack or into a rolly bag. And basically for the cosplays where you can wear a backpack, you just use it as a backpack. And for the ones where you need it to be a rolly bag, you just use it as a rolly bag. So that's what I recommend doing for that. I have used that for Tracer. I've used that for many different cosplays actually, and it has been very helpful. So definitely recommend investing in one of those. Next question is from Snecky, who says, how can you convince your parents to let you go? So I think I'm gonna go with something that my dad said in my parents and cosplay video, which is to show them videos from conventions. So show them like vlogs, obviously watch them beforehand and make sure that they are a good and accurate portrayal of what going to a convention is like, but show them vlogs, show them showcase videos. Like my friend Justin, he does amazing showcase videos. Same with my friend Seb. So I definitely recommend going to their channels, which I'll have linked in the description as well as up in the eye, to go and see their cosplay showcase videos. Just kind of show them what being at a con is like. Show them that it is a very supportive, and I don't know what the adjective for like camaraderie is. I don't think it's a word, but there's a lot of camaraderie. It's a very positive and creative environment, and people have a lot of fun there. So just show them pieces of content that show that. And I think by doing that, they'll have a better understanding of like what a convention is like, because obviously they probably don't know at all what a convention is or what to expect. And so they don't want their child going to this kind of unknown environment. So if you get them kind of more familiarized with what a convention is like, then I think they'll be more willing to let you go to one. And also show them like the convention website, show them what kind of events there are going to be, stuff like that. Twilight Night Cosplay asked, how do you know if someone is being creepy or just awkward? Which is a great question. So obviously, conventions for the most part are very safe environments, but there are people who do creepy things. It does happen. I would say throughout all my years of cosplaying, the number of times creepy things have happened has been very minuscule. They have happened, but it hasn't been the overwhelming majority. So please don't think that conventions are like mostly made up of like creepy people. There are creepy people there, but they aren't like the majority. Like most people are great, most people are totally chill, but there are some creepy people there, and it is an important thing to be aware of and prepared for. So I would say how you know if somebody's being awkward or creepy is really just going with your gut. Your gut always knows. So if somebody's interacting with you and your gut is like, I'm uncomfortable with this situation, make an excuse, do anything you need to do to get yourself out of that situation. You can say like, oh, I have a panel that I'm going to, I need to go, or oh, I'm meeting my mom, I need to go and meet my mom, or I'm meeting a friend or something like that. Just make an excuse and get out of that situation. If someone's just being awkward, you won't get that gut feeling. It's very unscientific, isn't it? But your gut always knows. Really, you can assess it by like how they're making you feel. Like if you are feeling uncomfortable, they're probably being creepy. But if you don't feel uncomfortable, you just kind of feel awkward, then they're probably just being awkward. And most people are very awkward because we are all socially awkward, socially anxious nerds. So yeah, people are going to be awkward, and that's totally fine. And yeah, most people are going to be awkward. Very few people are going to be creepy, but you'll know when somebody is being creepy. Neo Hember asked, any tips for talking to new people and making friends? I would say always use what the person is cosplaying as like a basis for your conversation, because that's a really easy way to strike up a conversation with someone. So if they're cosplaying from a certain series, you can say like, oh, I really like the series that you're cosplaying from, and kind of use that as a jumping off point to make conversation, because you can talk about a lot of things. You can talk about like your favorite characters, you can talk about your favorite episodes, you can talk about like if it's a video game, you can be like, oh, this one stage was really difficult, I remember, or oh, I have really fond memories of playing that game as a child, like this was my favorite part. It's really easy to make conversation with like fictional media as the basis. So if you see somebody cosplaying something that you like and you want to make a conversation with them, you can really just use their cosplay as a method of like conversing with them. You can also ask them like, how did you make this part of your cosplay? Where did you get your wig from? How did you style it? Stuff like that. That's also a really easy way to make conversation. So just use their cosplay, use the series as a jumping off point, and it'll be very easy to make friends that way. That's how I've made pretty much all of my friends, is just like we've had a common interest and we've used that as a way of conversing and then becoming friends. So that's what I recommend. Now we're going to move on to YouTube questions. So I asked over on my community tab for some questions, and that's where these next questions are going to be coming from. So Luna asks, how old do you have to be to go to a convention? There is no age requirement for going to a convention. You can be any age, but if you are under a certain age, and it depends on the convention, like for some conventions I think it's like 15, for some conventions it's 18, it really depends. For certain events you have to have a guardian either sign off for you, so sign a waiver for you, or they have to be with you the whole time. So it really depends on the convention. So look that up on a case-by-case basis. But as for like going to the convention, you can be any age. I personally started going to conventions when I was 14, but you can be younger than that. Yeah, to answer your question, you can be any age, but sometimes you have to have parental permission or be accompanied by a guardian, a parent or guardian, to attend the convention. Another question that I really liked comes from Trickiest Trick, and they asked, will people frown on you for cosplaying the wrong type of character to a convention? Like cosplaying an anime character at a Comic-Con or a cartoon character at an anime con, if that makes sense. The answer is no one will frown upon you for doing that. The only kind of downside to cosplaying certainly an anime character to a comic convention is that people might not recognize it as easily as if you were to wear it to an anime convention. But I personally, like, my interests fluctuate so much, so I just cosplay whatever I want to whatever convention I go to. So I've cosplayed cartoons to anime conventions many times. There are a lot of people who do that, and it's always very well received. I don't think I've ever cosplayed anime to a comic convention because I don't go to comic conventions as much as anime conventions, but like my interests are mostly North American media, and so I'll wear those to like anime conventions all the time, and it's never been an issue. So you can cosplay whatever you want to whatever convention you want to go to. ZH asked, what are your favorite parts of conventions? That's a great question because I know that you might not know kind of what to do at a convention, so asking what other people like to do is always a great way to kind of gauge what kind of events there are to do and like how you should prioritize. I personally really like doing photo shoots, so I like this to be an opportunity to like get photos of my cosplay. That's always like the first and foremost thing that we do when we're at a convention. I like going to panels once in a while. Panels are basically like lectures, so people will be talking about like how to make comic books, how to do cosplay. Panels with voice actors where they talk about like their roles that they've done and stuff like that. So I like doing some panels. I really like shopping, so most of the time I'll just pay the admission fee just to shop more, so I'll be spending money to spend more money. And those are the main three things that I do. I also enjoy entering contests once in a while. So like I entered my Aragon cosplay into the Capital City Comic-Con cosplay contest when I was there. So that was fun. You can also run panels. I do enjoy running panels. I did that again at Capital City Comic-Con, and I've done panels in the past, but that was kind of like the most recent example that I have. So yeah, there's lots of stuff to do, and there's lots of stuff that I certainly enjoy doing. So yeah, that's just like a little bit of what I like to do. But I think my main priorities are always photo shooting and shopping. Those are like the main things that my friends and I do, which doesn't really get the most value out of your con badge, but it is what it is. And that's it for today's video. I will be doing a part 2 to this video, so feel free to leave some questions down in the comments, and I will definitely make a part 2 because I'm sure there are many more questions that people have about going to conventions. Yeah, thank you to everybody who submitted questions. I hope this was helpful for you guys. And yeah, just a chill little video today. If you are new here and you'd like to see more videos like this, I put out new cosplay and nerdy related videos every Sunday, and it'd be awesome to have you here, so feel free to subscribe. As always, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys all next time. But until then, Panda Faces, please be sure to take care. Bye!